other generation, the next generation now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce and welcome Engineer Isaac Balami. Balami is a Nigerian aircraft engineer and a pilot and an entrepreneur. He's an indigene of Borno State who rose from a humble beginning where he sponsored himself through school doing menial jobs. I mean, this is very interesting. I want to read this again because I love all our other brothers and sisters who are at the other end of life to please pay attention to what God is about to give to us now. He rose from a humble beginning where he sponsored himself through school doing menial jobs like farming for neighbors and working on construction site, till he got a scholarship that saw him become one of the leading and famous aviators in Nigeria. Born in the early 80s, he attended Nigeria College of Aviation Technology, founder of 7-Star Global Hangar, the first ever private-owned independent aircraft overhaul, maintenance, and repair facility in West and Central Africa, and 7-Star Global Airline. In 2009, Balami was appointed the national president of the Nigeria Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers. He is the brain and owner of Isaac Balami University of Aeronautics and Management, founder of Isaac Balami Foundation, where thousands of children are cared for on scholarship. A strong believer and lover of God, he is happily married, and the marriage is blessed with wonderful children. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Pilot Captain Balami. Balami?
Thank you very much. I just confirmed that I'm the youngest among all the speakers today. And because they are 45 and above, they have more experience in summarizing. So if I'm not being able to summarize properly and I take extra 2 minutes, please forgive me. I will learn as I grow older. I came here to actually learn, to present, but I ended up being a mentee. Those of us that are actually engineers, hustlers here and there, whenever I meet with economists and accountants and financial experts, I'm always intimidated. So personally, to be honest, I've been taking note. I've learned so much. And God bless you all for the contribution to this great event. I really, really appreciate you. Happy Independence Day to everybody. And today I'll be looking at personal leadership, the foundation for corporate and public leadership. I will just be sharing my brief story. The Master of Ceremony has been able to summarize my profile, and I didn't make any PowerPoint, I'm sorry. I struggled to be here. I thought I would not make it, but God gave me the grace to be here. So I was just asked to come and share my story. So I said, okay, I will just come. And while this event was going on, I was just making some note on what to talk about. So I will just make it snappy. Yeah, like he said, I'm from Maiduguri, Borno State. I remember those days where I used to evacuate sockaway, shit, feces, manually. It was when I came to Lagos that I realized that you use these tankers to sock it and go and discharge it somewhere. Where I come from in Maiduguri, you dig a 6-foot hole, 6 by 6 like a grave, and you use bucket to manually evacuate people's feces. And you bury it. And it takes about 2 weeks to deliver that, and I used to do that for families. I will remember a lady I used to love so much as a young boy. Because I evacuated their own sockaway, she never liked me again. So I missed her, but even though she is regretting, she didn't end up marrying me, but it's fine. I've moved on. So that is the story of life, right? So, it's not a function of where you come from or what you do or your background. Everybody in life has a purpose. Everybody. There's nobody here on earth that God has not blessed with something. Everybody is blessed with something. And all you need to do is just to identify that purpose, that gift. Unfortunately, today, all I see, I meet every young person, and what are you doing? Oh, I'm a graduate. I run an NGO. Everybody just want to be the face. Everybody want to be a CEO. Everybody just want to be MD of an organization. Everybody want to be a founder. Everybody just want to be the face. Yeah, the face is important. You are watching my face now. But if I have a failed kidney or liver or heart or my lungs is collapsing, there is no face. Some people have been blessed by God to be the kidney, the liver, the heart of a system. I've seen successful men and women that were just advisors to governors, to MDs, and they became very, very successful. So while we aspire to be inventors, while we aspire to be CEOs, to be governors, to be presidents, we should also remember that perhaps our calling is to serve somebody who is already a president, is to serve somebody who is already a CEO. So I will just continue from there. For me, you see, I am also a product of grace. I thank God I come from a very, very strong Christian background. When I got into, with due respect, when I came into us and began to go to Port Harcourt and other places, I began to hear about fake prophets. Where I come from, as a Christian in Borno State, they'll kill you anytime. So you have to make up your mind if you are a true Christian or you are a fake Christian. Because at any time they'll kill you. During 2-3 administrations, we lost over 5,000 churches. And in the Northeast alone, Borno, Adamawa, Yobe, over 5,000 churches was burnt down. They killed church members. Chibok girls was not a story of Chibok girls. You can imagine a whole local government in Borno State where about 90-something% of the children writing NECO or WAEC that was taken away are 90-something% Christian girls. So it was a fight against, that is the kind of place we come from. We fight every day. So when you say you are a Christian, so all our parents could do was just to offer prayers and advise us, just live right, do things properly, and if you do things right, God will raise people that will bless you. And I'm just a product of a praying family. I'm a product of grace. When I was growing up, to be honest, if you bring 100 children in my community and you examine and interview all of us, and they ask you to pick 80 out of this 100 that have potential to be great in life, I won't make 80 out of 100. That is the truth. But when you hold on to God, you have a vision, you become resilient, you become focused, you will actually make it. Today, there's nothing I've not done. We used to do what we call barema or nomankwidi. When we take 5 to 10 hectares of land, of granite, beans, or grain, we spend 2, 3, 4 weeks in the bush. We don't come back to the city. We sleep in the bush. Sometimes when it's raining heavily, we hang ourselves on the tree. Inspector Sam is here. He's my orderly for so many years. And I used to tell him, you be Ajabo police. You are supposed to be gallant, but me, if I rock a pass you, we used to joke about it. I mean, he's an Ajabo, quite all right. It is not his fault. For me, I was raised in that way. As a CEO, as an owner of an airline, hangar, and now a university, I can sleep on the floor. If I go somewhere, I can leave the bed for my team, and I'll sleep on the couch or sleep on the floor because we've seen it all, right? So that is very, very, that is part of my story. But today, you see, what people don't know is most people don't understand what it means to be disciplined. I could remember very, very well when I used to work for the Ebro family in my early days, even before I became the national president for aircraft pilots and engineers. I was in Aero Contractors Airline as a young boy on the floor of the hangar. And they even named me Balami Aero. They gave me a surname, Aero Contractors, because I won't go home until the last aircraft is sorted. I will read and find out why is this aircraft, why, if they say that they will delay a flight the next day because it has a fault, I will like, why can't we sleep over to fix it so that there will be no delay for tomorrow? It wasn't my company, but the discipline, the commitment, and the owners were able to identify me. I was just 25 years old. When I became the national president for all the aircraft pilots and engineers in the entire industry. Why? Because of discipline, commitment. I've seen a lot of young people that are very, very gifted, but they lack character. Very gifted, first-class material. If you give them any issue to look at for you, they will go into research, produce something that is, but their character stinks. Your gift, your talent can take you to any height, but your character, your discipline will sustain you there. So whether you are a business person, of course, even Dangote is still working hard to keep growing. So no matter how successful you are, there's room for growth. Not to talk about young people, young entrepreneurs, that are actually aspiring to become great in life. So it's very, very important. I will go out there and I will go out with my principals. We'll have a late event till 2, 3 a.m. They will wake up around 10. They will be in the office by 12 o'clock, but I won't see it as an excuse. I will be in the office at 7 a.m. I won't say because I roll with the big boys. No, I'm an employee. So I've seen a lot of young people with so much excuses. They create excuses, and that affects growth seriously. It's 5 minutes. Just give me a sign so that I will know how to begin to wrap up. One thing also is, there's need for you to build with purpose and excellence. The 7-star story. Chief Valentine was in my hangar yesterday to see what we've built over the last 10 years in Lagos Airport. And he asked me, why do you name the business 7-star? I said, well, 7 is a number of perfection. Our aim, that business was founded when Dana aircraft crashed, and I was the pilot national president, and I was part of the investigation in the Senate and everywhere, the public hearing, and I felt there's a need to see how we can ensure aircraft serviceability across the entire African continent. I didn't have $1,000 then, but we started something big with my team. And the idea is to target zero incident, zero accident in our operations. Now, it's a dream. There's no perfect system anywhere. We're all striving towards perfection, but that is what we actually aspire to do. And truly, the first time we were to carry out a C-check, a major aircraft inspection that normally airlines go to do in US, UK, Canada, and so on and so forth, the whole industry was watching. They said we cannot do it. They challenged us. But we had already built a system and processes for safety and get percent Nigerians. Because as the national president for aircraft pilots and engineers, my first 6 months, which was part of my campaign manifesto when I was 25 years old, was to create opportunities for Nigerians. I met an industry as a young boy where even as a pilot, to become a captain, the expatriate will frustrate your life and make sure you're not checked out. As an aircraft engineer, to grow to a point where you will replace aircraft engine, aircraft brakes, aircraft components, the expatriate, when it's time to drop that engine, they will send you somewhere to the store and go and bring something. By the time you are back, they have put in the boat. Nigerians were kept there, and I saw it. I went to Oceanic Bank at the age of 25, took 2.5 to 3 million naira loan, went to 17 airport and spoke to aviators about what I could envisage, what I dreamt about. And they keyed in to my vision. The first 6 months, I sent packing 800 expatriates out of Nigeria at 25 years old. And Nigerians that replaced them were well trained by the operators and were able to also earn what those white men were actually earning. And that was able to help the country. So, when we started our first C-check, the whole industry were like, how will he do it? And all they were watching was, let us see how you fail. In fact, at the end of the C-check, they wanted to see that when the aircraft takes off, it should not land, or when it's landing, it should just crash land. And these are Nigerians. People were hoping that we fail, but God was there. When you build systems, processes, and you have competent people that know what they are doing, you will actually succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, to my surprise, after 6 weeks of thorough dismantling the entire aircraft engine component, putting it back together. The aircraft took off and landed with 0 technical fault. And for the next 6 weeks of flight, the airline never had reasons to delay or cancel any flight. Meanwhile, you can ask any airline owner, whether it's Air Peace or ARIC, if they go to fix their aircraft overseas, the aircraft comes back with fault. So the aircraft is back from check after spending $1 million, but they will spend weeks trying to rectify, delaying flight here and there, and these are done by Nigerians. So this is to tell you that Nigerians have so much to offer, but we must believe in ourselves. We must believe in ourselves. I'm just trying to jump. When I left Aero Contractors Airline, I only had $2,000, home and abroad. Not enough to rent an office space in the airport, whether in Abuja or Lagos. Not enough to buy an aircraft or to build a hangar or to even buy a land. But it was enough to fuel my car, to go around the industry, to talk to leaders, to guide me, and to key into the vision. I put together with just $2,000, just the power of vision, the most experienced aircraft engineers and pilots in the history of Nigeria to start my business. I couldn't pay them. Somebody who was worth $15,000 a month, I said, I can't even give you $1,000, but come, let's do this. They saw the vision, they saw the sincerity of purpose. As at then, I had already served as the president for 8 years, and I tried not to be arrogant, I tried not to be pompous. I served them. I made sure I didn't take bribe from anybody. I made sure I didn't humiliate anybody. I just did my job professionally, and after 8 years, people were there to support me. So which means that whenever you are given an opportunity, there are people that they just give you a job as a gate man. You turn that gate into terror. You are now a general. You are a veteran. Hey, you can't go in. Go back. Every time you are given an opportunity to serve with humility. Don't be arrogant. I'm just trying to jump. With that $2,000 today, from the information I'm getting from our partners in Deloitte that are doing an evaluation, we've built a $200 million business. From $2,000. Just enough to write an aircraft manual. The aircraft manual was in the boot of my car for 3 years. It was the 4th year that I was able to afford office rent across the airport. Then the 5th and 6th year, we were able to lease an aircraft hangar that was abandoned for 30 years. And I now had to raise about 300 million then to begin to service everything. I was showing Uncle Val yesterday, I said, this place you are seeing that we are fixing. Okay, thank you very much. I have 10 more minutes. Interesting. I was telling Uncle Val that this place that we're fixing aircraft brakes and tires, overhauling aircraft air conditioning system yesterday, I said, when I came in here, there was grass. Inside here, there was grass. We had to rebuild it all over. Why? That's the power of vision. Teamwork. I was able to convince, based on my character, my personality, I got the best brain. There was a time that our just top management staff alone had over 360 years experience in aviation industry. So we could do anything. We could attract foreign partners, technical partners, and that's how we actually kept on pushing. Now, vision gives strength to endure hardship. It's not going to be easy. As I speak to you here, even till date, we are trying to access loan. It's difficult because you know how the financial sector is actually structured. The collateral has to be there. They want to see the 3 years, this and that. They want to see how your great-grandfather died, why he died, who killed him, where was he buried, and all that. But you just have to remain resilient. When I saw the need to see how aviation can grow, I met my team. I said, but we now have an airline. Yeah, just for helicopters and small aircraft. We can't compete with Air Peace and ARIC yet, but there's a gap. Ever since Nigerian Airways was the highest trainer of labor. The first pilot and engineers and air hostess to land in America from Africa was not Ethiopia, was not Emirates, was not Egypt, was not South Africa, was not Kenyan Airways, was not Air Morocco, it was Nigerian Airways. You are clapping, but it's a shame. The first aircraft to land from Africa, carrying the green, white, green flag from Africa into America, was a Nigerian crew. But today there is no Nigerian Airways. And we've had airlines and companies that have had access. So what is wrong with us? I said, okay, fine, let us start all over. Today, the Nigerian Airways engineers, the last set are with me. I have 6 of them in my company. None of them is less than 69 years old. I'm like, so what will happen to the Nigerian aviation? So we're going to get to a point where in the next 5 years, we'll go back to that cycle where we'll bring in expatriate all over again. I said, okay, let's just start a university that will not just train pilots, but train aircraft engineers and aircraft aeronautical design experts. And today, when we started just 4 years ago, no bank loan, no godfather except God the Father in heaven. With my team, we kept on pushing. Today, we are not just licensed, but we have a university that is the first of its kind on the entire African continent. That's the power of vision. The government saw what we are doing, and one thing about this life is, at some point I felt the government was even against me. There was no encouragement. You go here, they discourage you, they delay you there, but we kept on pushing. The same government has said, you're doing very well, well done. In fact, you are supposed to start with 500 students, but because of the need to raise more manpower in this industry, we're giving you 2,000 slots, which means that by October and God's willing November this year, this month and next month, we're admitting 2,000 students. And I can go on and on. So that is the power of vision. No bank loan. Till date, no support. But with the little you have, like our first presenter said, family and friends, put what you have together, just keep on moving. You get to a point where the banks will be begging you to give you money, but you don't even need the money anymore. But you just have to keep on pushing. You just have to keep on pushing. So you see, so that is the story of IBOM. For me, you see, one thing that most Nigerians don't know is, okay, I think they're actually playing some of what I do. Oh, I didn't even see that. These are all Nigerians building aircraft, dismantling aircraft, putting it back together, building back the cockpits, the engines, done by Nigerians on about 7 airlines and 16 private jet owners. I was so happy just last 2 months when the president and the minister of FCT went to commission the agri project under NELDA, the tractors, the helicopter that they flew. For the first time that the manufacturer of the engine of that helicopter, the helicopter was manufactured by an Italian company called Augusta Westerland, but the engine is manufactured by Pratt & Whitney from Canada. I just saw the aircraft in the air. I said, God, you are great. Why? That particular engine, for the first time, the manufacturer allowed Africans to pieces the engine and install a thermocouple in it because it was going to cost the Nigerian government over $1 million to ship it to Canada, and they will lose up to 9 months in queue to get the engine back. But here in my hangar where we were able to fix that engine in 6 weeks by just asking the manufacturer to send us the part required to install inside the engine. We put the engine together, we did a test flight, and the aircraft is no more overheating. It has powered President Buhari, and now it's powering President Asiwaju. That is the power of what? Vision. This is real life what is actually happening. I've gone through being the pilot president for 8 years. I work with 7 aviation ministers directly. I've worked with all the airline owners, at least in the last 16 years. I had access to all airline owners, chief pilots, chief engineers. I represented the workers in the industry at the highest level. I also I was the spokesperson for the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria. When I was the national spokesperson, I was covering about 30 sectors. That's when I got to know about ASBIFI, in the banking sector, marine sector, insurance sector, health sector, 30 sectors. And I've seen so much at this young age. I'm just 41. I turned 41 August 25th. No white man, no any country from the West will come and build this country. Write it down. I've seen the MOU, the agreement, the technical service agreement between 6 major airlines in this country and foreign partners. All was designed to make sure Nigerians don't benefit from it. Today, we even have airlines that you will see them with 10 aircraft, for example, but they're not making much because the technical service agreement is not favoring them. So we must build capacity, and I believe it's the same thing for other sectors as well. Nobody will come and build Nigeria for us if without any bank loan, no any support. We can come together as aviators and build the biggest aircraft maintenance facility in West and Central Africa. We've done over 50 aircraft C-check and D-check, 0 incident, 0 accident. Nigerians, 100%. If today we can also, without bank loan, get a license to operate an airline that is operating at the level of the oil and gas sector, once you can qualify to fly NNPC, Shell, Chevron, that is the highest level. Because for the normal commercial airline, if you will change your aircraft tires, for example, the aircraft wheels after 100 landings, the oil and gas will say you must change it after 70 landings because they want to operate a higher standard. If today we can, with my team, come together and build a university that by April next year, God's willing, we'll be test running the first made in Nigerian aircraft. We're 70% done now. Small 4-seater, 2-seater, we're starting somewhere, we're going to grow. Our CNC machine can take up to a 10-seater jet, but we're starting from 2 and 4-seaters. And I was telling Uncle Val yesterday, I said, the camera we got that is going to be installed on that aircraft can pick a car plate number at 25 kilometers. And we want to support the armed forces to fight banditry and fight Boko Haram, whatever it is. And this is till today, not a single white man has been involved in this. Because we have Nigerians in Engr Aeronautical University, in Cranfield, in England. We have Nigerians working in Airbus. The number 5 man in Airbus is a Nigerian. Ajala Olusegun, where is he from? He's from, I think, from Ondo State. But he cannot come to his country and get recognition. Airbus, as big as they are, one of the biggest aircraft manufacturers in the world, cannot carry out an aircraft design and release it without his input. But he can't even call anybody in the industry, even an airline owner here wouldn't even pick his call. So we took our time, we went to Rolls-Royce that manufacture aircraft engines. Today, one of the biggest aircraft engine program for the US government is being done in England by Rolls-Royce, and the chief engineer on that project is a Nigerian man. He's a Nigerian man. All those guys, we have identified them, we've gone around, we've gotten those guys, and they are willing to come and fix this country. It's tough. One thing about Nigeria, and I will end up here because my 10 minutes is now over, is that this is one country or one continent where it's a crime to dream. Your dream, your passion for your sector, for your industry, offends people. But are we going to give up? We can't give up. So whatever they do, no matter how your family members, your church members, your community members, your colleagues in the office chastise, mock, oppress, suppress, depress, intimidate you, don't give up. God bless you.